Good evening, Bravehearts, and good evening, Garfield, New Jersey. Welcome to Live from Bravery Studios. I'm your host, Marv, the producer, Mr. Podcast, the owner and creative director of Bravery Studios. I decided that at the beginning of each episode going forward, I want to do like a little preface. Like, you know, when you open a book and there's like a passage from another artist or another writer, you know, saying cool jazz about your story. I want to do something similar for my guest here, because I've totally and monumentally and mondoli fallen in love with every one of them. Everyone I've spoken to, all the fat skinny people, all the tall short people, all the nobody people, all the somebody people. I never thought I would meet so many people. Today's episode, I present to you a Mondo Righteous conversation with my kindred spirit of a brother, Matt Zeitoun. Matt's lived a crazy life. He's done some amazing jazz out there, from filmmaking to music production to photography. He's traveled from one coast to the other for the arts, and beautiful tales. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Harrowing tales, and all life experiences that I hope, as a viewer or listener, you will take with you. Shout out to Sin for introducing me to this guy. Matt, I love you. Thank you for making time for this. Thank you for pulling up here to Bravery Studios. We're gonna make great art together, brother. So without further ado, enjoy, check it out, give your thoughts, and make sure to subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button if you like what you're hearing, and give that notification bell a tap so you can know when we're live next time.
Hi guys. My name my name is Matthew Zeitoun, and we are recording live from Bravery Studios.
How's it feel to be here? You like this is all made for you. This whole set.
Really? Oh my god, I feel like the prom queen.
You're a role model to me. You deserve this.
No,
You 100%.
I shouldn't be.
100%. 100%.
Shouldn't be everyone.
100%.
I haven't changed clothes in like 3 days.
Yeah, that's role model-istic for me.
Exactly, bro.
I wish I didn't have to do that. I had to. I have no choice in my position.
Shout out to Marvin for rocking the prototype 237.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Shout out to John for hooking me up with it.
Way of the whiskey, John.
Yeah, way of the whiskey. Yo, artist. You're up here next. You're soon, my friend. You're soon. But yeah, man, how you feeling?
Not too shabby, man. Not too
shabby. Okay, so no, I want to dig deep. And I talked to you earlier. I was like, dude, I want to really like talk about things you love, things you hate, your love, your anger, and all of your sorrow.
I'm ready to cry.
Yeah, I want you to cry in this interview. I want you to cry somewhere in the middle of this interview for sure. I'm
a byproduct of Bravery Studios.
Yeah, I wish you were. I wish I could produce someone like that guy.
Checks going up, baby. I'm just fucking.
All right, so take us back. Let's do the Score Rosenberg style. Let's rewind time. Take us back to childhood. Where'd you grow up at?
I actually grew up in West Patterson, New Jersey. My grandfather has a house on Rose Place. I am the byproduct of Lebanese parents, our Lebanese grandparents. Back in like 50s, 40s, like my grandparents, like they immigrated over here from Lebanon. My grandfather was like a Bedouin, like a desert nomad.
That's what the term is for it?
I guess. I don't know if he was like a Bedouin. He's a Byzantine Catholic, but he was just like roaming around the deserts of Lebanon, or like, you know, around the desert in Lebanon and Jordan. He came upon my grandmother's village, and up in Tula in northern Lebanon. They immigrated over to America, I think in like in the early like 40s, and they bought a house in Straight Street in Patterson.
Yeah.
My grandfather, he ended up like working in a coat factory. He was like working for Sherry Love Fashions for like 30 years. My grandmother, she just worked a bunch of different odd jobs and stuff. It's cool though. Like One of my biggest regrets is that I didn't get a lot of my grandfather's stories, but I've been getting a lot of my grandmother's, and it's pretty crazy.
Is it like a gypsy life? Is that like exactly what it was?
Not necessarily
roaming around.
No, well, I think my grandfather's before he came to America was like a gypsy life. Like he would just go around. I don't like. I don't know much about the Bedouin life. I know like
I gotta look up that word. That's a really cool sounding word, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was cool. But yeah, they settled in the straight street, and I get a lot of my grandmother's stories. I've been documenting a lot of them because she's like 100. This is really old.
100?
Yeah, like
wow.
She's like 98, 99. Like this is getting close to the 100 mark. So I've been documenting.
You got a long life ahead of you if you going by
if
your
I play my
lineage.
cards right.
Yeah, by your lineage. Yeah,
keep
like it.
Olive oil and lemon, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
and
man.
Tequila and lime. So
I dig it. Say the word again.
Bedouin.
Okay. You ever put it up in like shiny letters like you do on Jesus and Mero?
It's gonna show on like a dude on top of a.
And what? You're an only child?
I have three other siblings. My brother Ben, my sister Lauren. I am the baby.
And you're the only one in the arts?
Yeah.
You got that artistic. You're right in the middle then, right?
No, I'm the baby.
Oh,
I am the baby.
Dope. Okay. So walk me through childhood then.
Attention.
Walk me through the whole childhood space then. You're like you went to school in West P.
Yeah,
it was called West P at the time.
It was West P.
Did you always have the arts in you? Was you always like with a camera recording stuff, or did you catch it late?
It's weird. My brother, we would make like little movies. Like it would be like my brother and like my cousins, we would have like these little VHS cameras. That really didn't trigger it a lot, but like looking back, I noticed that it had a lot of influence to go into like movies and photography and not necessarily music. Music I kind of found on my own. Music came from my uncle and my cousin.
They were hip hop heads?
No, my uncle is like is a vinyls 50s DJ.
Gotcha.
So has some decent clout in Sussex County. And in Patterson. He was like a Patterson DJ for a very long time. So he would just spin like oldies music.
Yeah.
Just rock around DJ Teen Angel.
Sounds like an anime. So when did you catch the hip hop bug? Because I know that's like a big thing with you.
I would say it was around like seventh grade, 6th grade. I think I really started falling into music, and it was like Green Day. Like Green Day and Yellow Card.
That was that time, right? Oh, you did mention that you were a Yellow Card.
Yellow Card, bro. Ocean Avenue.
You did mention you were a Yellow Card guy.
Dude, whoever did the violin in Yellow Card, whoever
he made that band.
It was the blonde dude. Fucking, it was
the guy with the violin. Yeah, definitely. And I see rock bands try that today, and it doesn't really like work out. They try random instruments like a sax or like with metal and things like that, and it's like
didgeridoo.
Is that the name of one of the bands?
No, It's an instrument from Australia. Marvin's learning a lot about culture.
Oh yeah, I gotta take notes over here. I'm gonna rewatch this.
Bedouin didgeridoo.
Yeah. Now I gotta add graphics to this. You guys can create more work for me.
It's all good, bro.
And so, but you got the hip hop bug like I said, like 7th grade. You said.
Yeah, like 7th, 8th grade. It was really Illmatic, man. Illmatic by Nas, like was the first. No, it's still to this day my favorite album, but it was basically the sample for The World Is Yours. And my brother would always listen to like hip hop too. We would have like Redman, Muddy Waters, and then I would play like Big Pun, like Capital Punishment. And I'd listen to Wu-Tang Forever was all over the place, but like, and the Soul in the Hole soundtrack, which is the most underrated album of all time.
I've never even heard or seen that movie.
Yeah, it's a very weird movie. It's a very underrated movie, but the soundtrack is like bar none, dude. It's like everybody's in their prime. It's like Big Pun. It's like unreleased like Big Pun, bro. Unreleased like Wu-Tang, like OC, MOP. It's unbelievable. Mob Deep, bro. It's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of like movie soundtracks that from the 90s that you wouldn't think had a lot of hip hop on it. But like, you ever listen to the Street Fighter soundtrack? It's all hip hop.
Street Fighter for the animated movie?
No, the live action with Raul Julia and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Really?
It's all hip hop. Even the Space Jam soundtrack has a couple hitters on there.
Really? Space Jam.
Bro, they have a Method Man, LL Cool J, Redman, Coolio like track on there. And then they have I Believe I Can Fly.
Yeah. Well, the most underrated song of all.
Hey, yeah. Tell me about it.
That aged well.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we're going through your school life now. You said you caught the hip hop bug around like 7th grade or whatnot.
Yeah, I was really into classic rock too. Like I remember my like first album was Dookie. Then I'd say I went to my dad got me a Jimi Hendrix like compilation album. It was like had like this. Remember Coconuts on like Route 46?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, Coconuts. And I got this Jimi Hendrix one, and that really got me into like a lot of music.
Classic rock, yeah.
But then it was the iPod, man. The iPod. I still rock an iPod to this day.
iPods are dope.
No, iPod, man. It's the separation of music and all the other tools is a necessary thing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. There's a lot of clutter.
I've never heard an ad on my iPod ever. I've never
bingo.
heard iPod.
Mondo bingo right there.
iPod has never tried to charge me monthly.
Bingo.
It's all music, bro. You gotta keep it pure.
Mondo,
you gotta separate church from state.
What kind of iPod you got?
250.
Oh, so you have the what are those called? You
get the classic ones, man. The classic ones, they hold all the music. Yeah. You don't need to. Yeah. You don't need more music. There's like. You downloaded so much music, you know what I mean, in the 2000s, like before like, you know, Spotify was like, oh, we have everything. Yeah, just give us some money. It's like 30 days of music. Basically, the uncle that was a 50s DJ, his sons both got into music by my older cousin John. I basically had to steal the music. I would stay by his house and we would play like Worms and like Golden Axe. I always appreciated his music choice, so I let my iPod like sync. It took like 30 days of music because I really wanted the music, and then I did a Sanuti, which was like you can export all the MP3s off of the iPod. Yeah, and that's been my music. I haven't added to it in like 14 years, but it gave me so much extra stuff, man. Like El Michelle's Affair. I don't even know old soul, like early Marvin Gaye. Like it expanded me as like a person, like insanely. Like really, really got good, and that's honestly the precursor to all the creative shit too. Is when you really start, I compose a lot of the things to music, man. Like even when I'm just like going around and taking photos, it's just going around and rocking some music. If you could appreciate how good like a drum break is, or how like soulful, like, you know, I was really into, I think it was Pete Rock first because of The World Is Yours. Yeah, so you start dissecting what you like. I would go through Illmatic, and then I would like look at the producers for it. And then, you know what I mean? You see like Q-Tip, Pete Rock, Large Professor, LES, bro, Q-Tip. You go through and then you discover all the music through the producers. Like I found out who like DJ Premier is. And then I start listening to Gangstar. And then from Gangstar, you get so like, you know, you want to hear the actual sample of it. And then you start like, you know, finding like, you know, Al Green and Nina Simone and all these artists. And it's like, you know, Nina Simone on, what's it called? Be like the Get By sample, but Nina Simone Sinner, man, it was still by far like my favorite. Like probably that's probably my favorite song. I'm not like rocking it every day. Like if I was rocking Cinnamon every day, it'd be pretty loopy. And but then I would go and I'd listen to the samples for it, and then like, you know, I got my cousin's thing, and then I started discovering different things. Like, you know, you listen to like Ethiopian jazz and
80s music, 80s down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, bro, yeah.
Ethiopian jazz, that's cool as hell.
Mutulu Atasaki, like yeah, man. Or, you know, Fela Kuti. And you go, yeah. But that's when, you know, that's like the real.
You are definitely unlocking another level of the encyclopedia for me, brother. I don't know none of these guys. I don't know none of these guys. I don't know none of it. Were you a gaming guy growing up too?
Decently. I was a Morrowind fan. I'm a Morrowind.
Oh, so you're a nerd.
I'm a Morrowind. I know.
You're a Morrowind nerd, because that's a very, very nerdy game.
Yeah, Morrowind is like a fucking, like, it's a very open-ended game where you can, you go through the main, like, storyline. There's no, like, directions or anything. You're just, like, cast in this world, and you're like, you just figure it out. You know, I mean, you get to play it a bunch of times. That was a great game. UFC 2009 is still one of the greatest games of all time.
I never played a UFC game, to be honest with you. Never played a UFC game.
2009 was like, bro, it's just like perfect, like fighting mechanics.
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, and I was a big Grand Theft Auto 4 online fan, but I never played 5 that much.
You gotta give it a shot. I've had some great times in 5.
Not a lot of time, man. Running out of time. Older I got, the less time.
Copy.
We're running out of time. Even though we might live to 100, it's still not enough time.
Gotcha. So tell me about right after high school. Did you, because I know you were in California for a while. I know you've been around everywhere. What was your thing right after? Did you know what you wanted to do with your life, or you just like stumbled into it? What happened?
I was in high school. The senior year was kind of, I kind of like, I don't know. It was, there wasn't a lot of classes. It was all basically electives. And I had band and I had TV class with Mr. Yob. So I had band with the lore and TV class with Yob. And it's weird because like you as you get older, you start to see like who like the influences of like your kind of path are, but like, you know, either minute, it's like little like kicks that get you, that like nudge you into what you will become. Um, uh, After high school, I had to like kind of move out like immediately. Like I don't know, my mom gave me some like story where she was like, oh, I have to like help your sister. So my mom moved over to Wyckoff and I had to find a place. And I didn't even have a fucking job. Like I had no work experience. I was playing fucking Morrowind. Fucking like so what's it called? My brother had a place in Union City that he was just so I was there and like, you know, I moved over to Union City and I was renting for my brother for a while and I couldn't find a job, man. It was like so I never had work experience. So like I was like I would just apply to places, man. And I found this one job for $40 a day. It was like 12 hours as a dishwasher in like one of the Latin clubs.
You did a dishwasher job.
Yeah, bro. $40 a day for like 12 hours on like Summit Avenue. And it was crazy. I think it was like called like Joe's XO Lounge. Shout out to Joe's XO Lounge. Hope you guys are still busy.
What town it's in?
As Union, yeah, I think it's Union City. Yeah, Union City. It's like 23rd Ave. I'm pretty sure that place was still in business, man. Because I was the prep cook and the dishwasher, and I was working for $40 for like 12 hours a day. It was nuts. I was like Tony Montana and dishwasher scene.
Yeah.
But that wasn't enough to pay the rent. Like I think I was paying like it's like $1,100 in 2010 in Union City. I wonder what it is now. But that wasn't enough to pay the rent. So my brother had an irrigation business, so I would like work irrigation with him. So I could be like dirty. I'd have like an hour in between irrigation and like dishwashing. And I was looking for jobs because it wasn't, you know what I mean? I was like, there's no way I was making rent that way. So I remember like I was looking online and I saw a busboy job in Weehawken at you know where the Sheridan is? It's right by like Ruth's Chris and Chart House. And like there's like a little section called like Lincoln Harbor. I saw that there was an ad online, bro, and I put like deodorant on my pants because I was just covered in dirt. And you
put deodorant on your pants.
Yeah, dude,
covered in dirt.
I fucking like ran down there, and I got like a busboy job at this Italian restaurant called like Messina. And
are you still practicing the art to this time too? You're still like, are you taking pictures yet or anything?
No, not really. I don't know what it was. Let me see. So I got the job in Messina. I was into music more than anything, man, because like my brother had like a Roland Phantom and he would make beats. I would like try to learn, but he would always use the keys and like, you know, the Phantom had like a little sample pad, but the Roland samplers back then sucked. Even though I still use a Roland sampler today, I feel like it's better than the MPC. I was really into music at the time. So I worked at Messina and I got the job as a busboy. Shout out to Peter and Grossolino, wherever the hell you are. And shout out to Abraham Ramirez, the current chef. Crazy, man. You see, it's 10 years later. What is it? It's been 10 years, 11 years, 12 years.
I mean, if you're in your 30s, yeah.
Nuts, bro. Yeah. Nuts. 12 years, man. Yeah, no, I worked at Messina. I would save up money. And I think I bought like a MacBook and then I bought like an MPD 32 or like, yeah.
So it was all about beats at that time then?
I just
making beats.
Just made beats. I think there was like a chick who stayed at the hotel and she like got me into Nikon. Like, I don't know. I was talking to this one chick and she got me into like Nikon. So I got a Nikon like D3200 and I would just start taking photos around Union City. It'd be like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like the precursor, but it wasn't like that crazy.
That sounds exactly like the precursor of what you're doing now.
Yeah, it's different. The photography was like, I look at my eye back then and I look at my eye now and it's a completely,
I would imagine 10-year difference. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, when you're a kid, you're just looking at like, I don't even know. You're like, oh, these stairs look crazy this way. Or it's like, oh, this is a sunset and this is this. But it's like, there's like a quote where it's like, you need to live a life in order to write. And it's like writing can go for any, writing goes for like making music and like, you know what I mean? Like you have to experience the blues to write the fucking blues.
I would imagine, yeah.
You know, what's it called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I would just take little photos and stuff and shit. You know, I mean, dollar bus, a couple other things. And I got into like this one Reddit where it was, I took a photo and people would just critique each other's photos. I remember like my first like piece that I was like really proud of was a portrait of Arthur Imperator. That was the guy. So Imperator. So the ferry system at like Port Imperial and Port and like Lincoln Harbor and all along the coast of along the Hudson River is owned by this guy Arthur Imperator. I think he died recently, but what's it called? I was riding the bus. I was riding like the ferry bus. My one buddy Troy. It was crazy when I was living in the when I wasn't living, but like when I was working at the hotel, you would meet so many different people. Like you would get like crazy clients. Like I remember one guy took me like $400 to get like mashed potatoes.
Hey,
nuts, bro. Yeah, you got really
spent it all the same night, right?
Bro, I meant the weekend.
Oh, you meant the weekend.
Met the weekend.
Crazy hair days around that time.
No.
No, he had already cut it.
House of Cards, bro.
House of Cards.
Well, it was a House of Balloons.
House of Balloons is the crazy hair day. That's he still had.
Nah, bro. He wasn't even like.
Oh, he wasn't even famous yet.
No, he wasn't. It wasn't not famous. He didn't really. He wasn't like trying to like present himself. It wasn't presenting himself as the Weeknd. It was like he didn't have his face on it in the album covers. Like you could like, yeah, man, it was crazy. But I remember I was just like quiz people about like, I'm like, yo, what are you using? Using like Cubase? You know what I mean? I was really into this shit. Fuck. But yeah, no, I was riding the bus with my buddy Troy, and I turned around and there was the guy, and I was like, are you Arthur Imperator? And I was like, yeah. And I like snuck a photo of him, and then like, I don't know, it's still up there, man. It's still like, you know, it's really, it's nothing crazy. It's a very like, you know, but the wrinkles, it's like age, and you can see all of you could see all of the detail, and it's like, you know, like old faces, man, they carry a lot of like wonderful, like,
I would imagine.
Yeah, like
the rings of a tree, right?
They know how to write, bro. They know how to write.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I bet.
But yeah, no, that's I started getting into photography, but I was still like jumping back and forth from music and photography, and you know what I mean. Like, I got an internship with Ty Fife. He was like a producer for like the Diplomats.
Hey, that's a big one.
Yeah, no. So you're getting all the untold story.
Yeah. This is what I wanted.
I got an internship with Ty Fife. He had like in studio. So while I was waiting for the ferry, like I noticed a guy who was carrying like I think it was like an MPD.
And just for people that don't know what MPD is, which includes me, because I have no idea.
It was like a 32 key like MIDI keyboard, but he was like,
that's it.
Dude was carrying a MIDI keyboard, and I struck up a conversation because I was like, oh shit, go.
It's a beat making machine for anyone who doesn't know.
Beat making machine, guys.
If anybody doesn't know. Oh, it's just a MIDI keyboard. It's just you know, it's like Mario Kart.
Yeah, like Mario Kart, same thing. Yeah. What's it called? So I was talking to that guy, and I struck up a conversation, and I got an internship with him so I would basically my strong points were taking photos. So I'd take like studio photography. It was strange, man. I learned a little bit from Ty. It wasn't too much. Still a really good dude. I don't know. I was looking for more because like I was getting really deep into knowledge. Knowledge is like a producer who's working with Anderson .Paak and No Worries.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Blue, and I found knowledge on the production credits for it, and it was weird. He just had a very distinct sound. So I found
name a famous song that he's done,
like Suede. It's hard. It's a very very niche shit.
I think I saw him on like Action Bronson's H.
Yeah.
He's done there a couple of times.
Knowledge very rarely speaks, bro. Yeah, I've met him a couple times. So I was really, but this is before like all that shit, man. It's like I found him when he was like second mixtape in, man, and I was just like, this guy is like Jay Dilla. Like I'm really into Jay Dilla.
Dilla's awesome.
Of shit.
Awesome.
I was like, this guy's like fucking like this is the Jay Dilla, and I was like early on like on Blues Jesus LP. So I got really into knowledge, and I found out the guy was from New Jersey, and I hit up a record label in Brooklyn called Paxico Records. Shout out to Chris Hund. I think he's still at Fat Beats. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Chris in a while. I hit up Chris Hund at Paxico Records because they were basically like the East Coast Low End Theory. If anybody doesn't know what Low End Theory was, like a
Tribe Called Quest album, right?
It's a Tribe Called Quest album, but there was I believe it was either a Wednesday or a Thursday night at a club in fucking Highland Park in Los Angeles. But it was like this like legendary club. Like Flying Lotus came out of there, like John Wayne, Sam I Am, like a bunch of the beat scene artists came out of there. It was like a majority of Stone's Throw. They would all flock to this place. And I was trying to find like the East Coast counterpart of low end theory. And I came upon Faxico and I hit up Chris, and Chris, I got a job. I was just like loading cassettes. So like for this dude's like record label, it was cool, like, you know, cool ass hipster dudes.
Yeah,
Guy was a graphic designer from like Kansas. So I would load cassettes and stuff, and it was weird, man, because like we were the guy had like artists and stuff, and it was like the first time I ever actually worked in like a record label. Like, you know, I was like a studio intern for like a little bit. The producer, like one of the producers we had was like, we had Pop Tart Pete, we had like you ever hear Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst?
I can't say that I have, man.
No, Kendrick Lamar.
No, I can't say.
No?
Oh, actually, I have heard that.
Well, the producer of that, man, it was like from Pac Div was doing. So they would just get a bunch of beat artists and load the cassettes, and I would like take photography. They would have like they would have events and stuff too. Was it like Beat House was one of them? The Taxical Powwows. It was fucking dope, man. So I was there, and I was living in Brooklyn because I wanted to be closer to my ex-girlfriend. And no, like I'd moved from Union City because I don't know, I quit Messina.
Okay.
No, actually no, I got fired from Messina. I forgot what I did. I think I left like 10 minutes early, and they were just like pissed at me because I was like fucking, I don't know.
And how old are you? You're like 20, 21?
I was like 20. I was like 20 or, I was
AKA
20 or 19.
I don't care about nothing age.
No, bro. I cared about the job. I liked it. Was weird, man. I was a busboy. Then I was a food runner. I'm from a food runner. I went to like Bellhop. Bellhop was a crazy job. At one point, somebody paid me, I think like $400 to basically soft kidnap their mother. You want the stories, bro. You want the story.
Go ahead, go in.
You want to talk
I want the deep.
You want to talk about
the crevices. Go for it.
So, you want the story? Or do you
I want the story.
All right, so fuck it. So, all right. So I'm working.
I want the story. You left the breadcrumbs there. Of course, I'm gonna go for it.
Bro's like, I want to hear the story too. You kidnapped an old lady. So I'm there and I'm checking in a guest. Basically, you just go, you bring up their luggage and shit, and you know what I mean. I'm drop off the luggage or whatever, and fucking normally it's like $5, $10, $20 if they're really cool. So this dude's like, he's like, you, I remember you. He's like, you're the funny guy. Ha cha cha cha. He's like, I need a favor for you. And like most of the time it's like, hey man, can you get me like ice, or like, he's like, I need you to move my mom from one nursing home to another nursing home. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man, but I'm like going to like, so what's it called? So he's like, all right. He's like, no, he's like, don't worry. He's like, yeah. He's like, here's my number. And he's like, no, he's like, here's my number, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So we exchange information. I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know if I could do this. He's like, yo, I'll pay you. He's like, I really need, I'm like, I don't know, man. But so what's it called? So I get a call at like 7:00 in the morning. Okay. He's like, hey, it's Robert, or whatever the fuck. I forgot the guy's name. Fucking, he's like, hey, it's Robert. And I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? He's like, look, man. He's like, I really need you to do the thing. He's like, man, I don't know. He's like, I'll make it like 400. And I'm like, I'm going to school at the time, so I'm like, fuck it. I'm like,
did you provide like
kidnapping an old lady?
Did you provide steps of how you're supposed to go about this? I don't get how.
So he's like, what's it called? He's meet me at the Whole Foods. And the thing was like Grand Theft Auto 3. What's it called? It's like, maybe at the Whole Foods at the fish market. So I'm there, and I meet the guy, and he's like, look, man, it's like a simple operation. He's like, we're gonna get a van, and he's like, and you're a reporter for the school, and you're gonna bring. He's like, and you're gonna interview her. And kind of like this, fuck, what's it called? So he's like, you're doing like a piece on her. So I'm basically, he's like, you gotta distract her while I switch up her shit. So
you're not kidding. It was Grand Theft Auto. He's giving you like a mission.
Yeah, it was a straight up like Grand Theft Auto mission. Yeah. So what's it called? So we go in, we drive to this like nursing home in like Fort Lee. And we're there, and I'm like, he's like, hey guys, this is Matt. He's the reporter. He's like, this is Lebanese George Clooney. And then what's it called? So he's there, and he's like, yeah, he's here with the newspaper. I'm gonna leave you guys to talk. Pulls up with a van, and I'm there, and he's loading this chick up into this van, and I'm there distracting her, and like, she's saying like the most depressing. She's just like, I just want to die. He's like, I don't want to be a burden on anybody. So what's it called? But the problem is with her old like nursing home is that like she had like friends there. You know what I mean? Like she was like, you know, accustomed to the
No, I would imagine at that point, yeah, it's like school almost for them.
So we basically had to trick this lady. So we load her up and we're there and I'm trying to like keep her distracted.
Yeah.
And then we pull up to this other place, right? And we wheel this lady out, and then we're over there and the guy's like trying to like accentuate like the highlights of living in this one as opposed to the other one because apparently it's like $1,000 cheaper or whatever.
Yeah.
Parks this lady, man. We're there and they're like serving grilled cheese on like gold plates. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna leave you with her. So we bring her up to her old room and we're like, yo, isn't this such a wonderful place? You know what I mean? Fucking like he's like trying to sell her on the place.
Gotcha.
So he leaves her there, and I'm just so he's like, all right, I'm gonna go to the other place, get the rest of her shit. He's like, you keep her fucking busy. And I'm like, all right, man. I'm like, fucking whatever. So I'm there. I'm just like trying to like talk to this old lady, and she's just like, it was a little bit depressing. Sometimes he's a good, you know, she's just talking about like her family problems with me. And this guy's taking like maybe like an hour. So she starts like freaking out a little bit. I was like some random guy who says he's from the newspaper right now. It's like and she's in a strange place. She's like, I need you got to help me find him. I got to find my son. And I'm like, lady, I don't know. She's like, you got to help me. Starts fucking that. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, whatever. So I'm grabbing the thing. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to, so I'm pushing this old lady around her new home. She's like, Robert, I don't want to be here. Blah, blah, blah. I got friends back there. There's a whole thing where they start talking. So there's a piano on the thing. I start playing Clocks by Coldplay. I start playing Clocks by Coldplay.
I don't know that song, but just the fact that you're playing Coldplay.
I start playing Coldplay.
Oh, I do know the song. I
start playing Clocks by Coldplay. The entire fucking the nursing home, like more people in it pulls up. They have like a heartwarming moment, and I'm like, you know what I mean? And I guess she kind of accepts like her new home. And I go to the dude. I'm like, hey man, I gotta go to work, dude. And he's like, you need a taxi? I'm like, yeah, I need a taxi. He's like, all right, fuck out of here. I'm like, all right, where? So I got in a taxi. I was like, that was the weirdest thing. But yeah, basically, it was like a soft kidnapping. It was a soft kidnapping.
Yeah, now you put it this way, yeah, definitely like a Grand Theft Auto kind of situation there.
Shout out to Coldplay.
Yeah. So talk to me about it. When did you end up going to California? And why did you go for? What did you go for actually?
So let me go. It's the prelude to California was the Brooklyn Bushido days. So like I said, I was working for Paxico, and
I really need an Urban Dictionary talking to you, bro.
Oh yeah, I know.
You need an Urban Dictionary talking to you. I swear to God.
I speak Pig Latin.
Keep going.
What's it called? Yeah, man. I was working for Paxico, the record label, and what's it called? I quit the place and I was just doing rooftop parties in Union City for a while, and then it just got like a little too ham.
They just bounce around jobs like that, like these cool jobs that you've had.
I don't know. Yeah, it was fun. And it was like I had savings, so I was like just chilling. I'd work for like 3 years. I didn't really take a lot of vacations. I would eat like El Unico like 4 times a day, which was like $3.50 chicken. I had savings, so I just like I would want to do jobs. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be a waiter. I didn't want to like stay at the skill level where it's just like I'm just a waiter. You know what I mean? So I would just like bounce around, and I wanted to do the things that I was interested into. But I would always find myself back a little bit I would do photography for Paxico, and I do, you know what I mean? Because I was like strongest at that. Like, you know, I didn't really find like my music. I had a good sample style, but like I'm mostly samples because I like the archival part of music, like like how Jay Dilla would find like an Al Green sample or like a Roy Ayers sample.
Wasn't it just crate digging?
Yeah, it was all crate digging. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. It's because it was from my uncle and stuff. So, you know, I'd find all these like little jobs and stuff. And I moved to Brooklyn to be with my ex. And then like I moved out of a place and I found this place in McKibben Lofts in Bushwick. And it was like kind of like, it was a little bit like Prototype, but like more degenerates. It was like nuts. Like Prototype is like freedom. McKibben is like chaos. Not chaos. It was cool. So I moved to this 2-floor like loft in Brooklyn, and
degenerates and all that stuff.
No, it wasn't all degenerates. It was actually a kung fu studio. Our landlord was this like 250-pound like Dominican guy named Knowledge, Nahlejj.
Okay.
You want the man behind the myth, bro.
I want the myth.
What's it called? This 250-pound Dominican guy named Knowledge, who was like disciplined in like 12 forms of kung fu. He rented this like 2-floor loft in Brooklyn, and it was like before like HBO's Girls came around and like, you know, shot the rental prices of Brooklyn completely up to the point where like nobody can even exist.
Yeah.
Knowledge rented this 2-floor thing, and the bottom part of the loft was a kung fu temple, and the top floor was all like residential and people, you know, whatever. So everybody split rooms. I was paying like $650, and I was like living in the dojo part. So they would do Shaolin training, kickboxing, Wing Chun, and what was the last one? There was another one, capoeira. And you would we would train in fighting. And it was like our landlord, but it was crazy because I would like come home, bro. And my landlord would be fighting like 4 people. Yeah, dude, it was nuts, bro. He'd be fighting like 4 like kids from like, he'd be like,
they're students, right?
Yeah, they're students. Yeah, he'd be like, yo, it's a cool dude, bro. It's a cool dude. Shout out to Knowledge. I found out my high school principal was training there too.
The high school principal over here from Jersey,
from Manchester, bro. From Manchester. I went to Manchester.
Training in Brooklyn.
Training in Brooklyn, bro. Because Brooklyn became such a high like point of vantage place, and this guy had like a long-term lease. They tried to like force this guy. The owners of the building would try to like force the guy out because I don't know, like he was paying like I think like $3,000 like under like market price. They were in this whole thing, man, and it just got really exhausting, and there was like a bunch of people. So I had I don't know. I had a situation where I was like, it was either I was going to move to Montreal or I was going to move to California. My sister lived in California, and she was the only person I knew out there.
And she was out there for what? She just schooling and got married out there?
Yeah, my sister went over. She went, and I think she went to Pepperdine, but she went and was like just living out in California, and like, you know, she got to like see different places, and I was like, well, I've been in Jersey my entire life, and I'm like, you know, I don't know. Like I felt like I needed to see the world a little bit because I was like, you know, recently free. And
you're single at the time too?
Single at the time too.
Okay. Say it. That sounded like where you were leading to.
Yeah, no, I was just like, I just wanted like a new start.
Yeah.
And my sister was living in California, and I was really into Rick Rubin's like style of music producing.
That's right. Yeah, you mentioned that a couple of times.
A lot of minimal stuff. It was a lot of like
what did Kanye say? He's not a producer. He's a reducer.
Yeah, he's a reducer, bro. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like I wanted to like just start fresh, man. I like accumulated like a lot of like, I would just keep producing, and the only thing I really cared about was like my Roland sampler. So I was like, I don't know. So my sister lived in Calabasas, and I found out that Rick Rubin had this one studio called Shangri-La. My sister was living in Calabasas because she's just like, my sister just like networks, and my sister had lived in Malibu because she was going to Pepperdine, so she just met like a bunch of crazy people. So I had to get out of there. So I rented this spot in like South Central Los Angeles on like 41st.
And where are you getting income from at this point then?
No,
or you had savings.
I had savings. Yeah, okay. I had savings. So I fucking.
And you're still doing photography, beats, or all that still happening?
Yeah. No, I was still trying to do beats, but like, you know, I was trying to fucking find a job at Shangri-La. But
how old were you at this point?
I am 21.
Oh, so this is 10 years ago still.
Yeah.
So everything we've spoken about has only been like you in the span of a year.
Yeah, 3 years.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, bro. It's not.
Wow.
Moved to Calabasas, and I moved to this warehouse in South LA. I had this like roommate named Ian, and I rented like this little spot. This guy Ian was a photographer too. He was like really into Leicas and Range Rovers and Bitcoin. Ian Vlogworth. Yeah, but he was a photographer. And I didn't even think I brought a camera with me at that point. No, I had the D90. I had a D90, and I had my Roland. And I actually reduced, like, because I was really deep into like the program Logic. Mm-hmm. That's how I would like compose tracks. And actually, when I would be able to actually produce tracks, like, well, like the SP is great because I would like. There's this.
You're speaking hieroglyphics to me right now, just so you know. Just so you know.
The SP555 is like a very specific sampler, and you can take samples, and there's no loss between the audio.
Samples being clips from like old songs, or it doesn't have to be old, just from different music.
Just spoon feed the Garfield police, man. Just reduced everything down, and you know, I just started my life, and it was crazy, man. Moving to I was in like South LA, and I remember specifically when I left the house, I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like the first few days in LA, actually the first 2 weeks in LA, I lived with a Mexican family in North Hollywood.
You just found them like online and
No, my sister was like, yo, I'm not gonna be in California for a while.
Yeah.
Stay with my buddy Eric. Shout out to Eric Graciano and Autonotas TV. I stayed with a Mexican family for like 2 weeks, and
So at this point in Cali, you're just roaming around. You haven't found a job yet. You haven't found like a passion where like this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life yet. You said you're around like 21, 23.
I still wanted to do music, man, but
But you were trying to break.
no.
Like,
So what's it called? So let me get into it. So
Yeah.
I'm living at that place, and I'm walking outside my place in South LA. I'm just like taking the first 3 days of California. Like you're like, this is my life now. Like I have to like, you know, I mean, you're completely alone.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to go and visit like Low End Theory, like that one club I was mentioning earlier, because I wanted to be in the beat scene. Like I was living at that place, and then I wanted to get on the lease because this guy was paying like $1,000 for like a warehouse, but it was cool. But you know, he wanted to like move out, so he tried to put me on the lease, and they bumped up the lease to like $3,000. It was grandfathered in, so they're like, all right, it's a completely different lease. So I left, man, and I bought a van. And
were you gonna live in the van for a while? Was that the goal?
Yeah, no, it wasn't like the goal, bro, but it was like, you know, you do what you gotta do. Bought like this like Ford E150 or E like something, whatever. But it was like a camper van. This guy had just the skater from Vermont who Dave Mull. And I bought this van, man, and because I had like 3 days left on the rent, and I stayed in the van, man. And I put all the shit that I brought over, and I put it into storage. And I park outside of the storage, and I would use the Wi-Fi. And while I was a bellhop in Sheridan, this one dude tipped me in like unlimited movies. This is kind of before
Unlimited what? Go back.
Unlimited movies.
How do you get tipped in movies?
So check it out. So this guy, this company called Cinema Now, like a streaming service. This is before Netflix. I think he had like a corporate card. I was just on the site. So this guy tipped me in like free movies. Kept using the site, so I just download mad movies. You know what I mean? And I just like
I get it now. Yeah.
I built up a library of movies. And while I was in South LA, actually, I think I saw Barry Lyndon. I watched Barry Lyndon. I was like, yo, this is like photography and music, and like every frame is a Rembrandt. It's
yeah, shout out to Kubrick, man.
Yeah, I saw Barry Lyndon for the first time, and I was always into cinema, like going back, like, you know what I mean? Like even when I was into cinema, but I wasn't like, I didn't dissect between movie and photography and music. I didn't understand the entire piece of a movie until I saw like Barry Lyndon. And then, like, you know, I'd revisit, like, I'd watch Taxi Driver a couple times. You know what I mean?
You had every element of, like, you had music, you had photography already going.
Yeah.
This is like you getting into film now.
Yeah, it's like when I was living in the van, I started just watching cinema now. Like after I watched Barry Lyndon, I caught the bug. I would watch like Lawrence of Arabia, and I watched.
So what did you have? Like a portable DVD player?
I think I had an iPad Mini. I used Cinema Now. Scorsese, he had an article where he had like 85 films that you need to understand film. I started watching the films, and there was no stakes. There was no like rent that I had to pay. Nobody was looking for me for a place. There's nobody there was like the very few time. There's a very small amount of time that nobody is like, it's like complete.
You're all on your own. There's nobody. You made friends out there, right?
No, I was dating. I was dating Rebecca at the time.
While in the van, she knew you were living in the van.
No, She started dating me while I was still living in the loft,
and she was down with you living in the van then.
Yeah, bro. So yeah. Hey, man, you want the real story?
No, I want it all. And these are things I've been curious about since I've met you.
All right.
Because you lay hints of it like throughout conversations. But I feel like we're always leaning towards a story, but you end up going into like, we get the business talks and things like that and goals. And I've never heard the lore. So this is like
the lore.
Oh yeah. You're an Elder Scroll right now, brother. You're an Elder Scroll. Thought of you as like a Kendrick Spirit. And I feel like Cynthia like wanted me to meet you really badly because she was the one that invited me over.
Oh, Cynthia's a goddamn.
Because seeing what you were doing, she was like, because listen, Prototype's been there for 2 years. She only told me to go over there and meet you. She didn't say go meet John, go meet Rashad, go meet all these other people. Because she knew like these guys are probably going to vibe. Like she knew. And she was absolutely right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're gonna make some great stuff, man.
Absolutely.
No, you have no
Absolutely.
idea. No, you have no idea the
Absolutely.
type of shenanigans.
Absolutely. And I got
So back to living in the van.
go for it, man. But no, let's get into it then. So let me guide. You feel like this was a low point in your life, or you feel like this was like, all right, I'm on the course towards my goal?
It was weird, man. It was like it was a feeling of like I have no responsibility, and it was like I have no responsibility, and I can leave on a dime. I don't know.
You felt free then and liberated.
I felt like free, but I still wanted to what's crazy is I still had savings at the time. Like I could have looked for an apartment, but I kind of chose to stay in there. And is
it the Rick Rubin thing? Is it because like he was such a minimalist? You were like, I'll live with as little as possible to get by.
Not necessarily, man. There was never going to be a time where I could it was hard sometimes. It was very hard to really people are like, I'm really into fucking 1930s cinema. You know what I mean? I really went and tried to really educate myself. And
you didn't just want to be a wine taster.
No,
wine tasters make shit up. Oh, this is a Chardonnay with a
because if you could find yourself to watch, so I really I stuck to that 85 movies by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah,
really heavily. So I would watch the derivatives of what those were. So you would kind of retrace the legacy of cinema. And I was there, and I wasn't going to LA to try to be I want to be a fucking movie store. You know what I mean? I was just holy shit, this is photography and music and writing and acting. I don't even know if I act. I don't know anything about writing. Yeah. Fucking, you know what I mean? I was but this is photography and music, and I was sick of trying to let me make beats, let me take photography. It's not how you should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You should have something that's food. And the beauty about cinema, bro, is that you everything you learn is applied. Every single thing, everything is all applied. It's this fucking business, bro. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the music, the photography, all of that goes into film because it's a combination of all of them together.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. You don't have to sacrifice anything.
And what I thought you would have called a low point in your life, this is you're having the epiphany of all right, oh man, I love film now. I've discovered my love now.
Yeah. It was strange. It was you find in darkness, you'll find identity. It's weird.
Title right there. This guy's movie is gonna be called
In Darkness You Find Identity.
Shakespearean over here.
No. So I would watch I'd watch Greed by Eric von it's a 4-hour silent film about a fucking dentist in the desert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's it's not fun. It's not fun to watch Greed. I mean, it's okay. And you'll watch it and you'll be oh, it's a beautiful shot. So as I was watching all these fucking films, I every time the screen would change, I would screenshot. I would screenshot and screenshot, and then it would screenshot and screenshot. How you could press fucking. I screenshotted every frame. I have 34,000 frames.
Jesus, you still got those?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my god.
You want? That's how Zeitoun Pictures came to be, bro. But you understand the actual the nuances, and then you can see visual literacy is a thing, visual listening is a thing, and I'd start listening not necessarily lectures. I'm not let me see that, dude, you just got to watch the films, and you can develop your own style by just your own experiences are gonna shape you. You yourself in general is just like clay. You're morphed by the influences that you get.
Now we're getting to the philosophical mat.
No,
I've been waiting for this mat for an hour. Here we are.
Reach tequila's deep, baby. Living in the motherfucking van.
We made it. Go for it. So now you're still in the van. You're having this epiphanies. You're falling in love with film. This is coming to you now. And you're still out there, or is it I got to head back to Jersey? What brought you back to Jersey?
No. I came back to Jersey 9 years later, bro. 9 years later.
So what you do out there?
This is the first year. This is the first 8 months, bro.
So what you do out there for the rest of the 10 years you're out there for, pretty much?
So after the van, I was doing the screen caps. I enrolled in LACC. I found this place in
And you had the money for it.
Yeah. I had the money the entire time. I just didn't.
How much you saved working out as a busboy in Joe Schmo's?
I saved 40 grand.
Jesus. Talking about being a reducer.
Well, that's the money you get when you kidnap old ladies, bro.
I guess so. I guess so. Kept a couple zeros off that check because you
What?
Yeah.
Nah,
Go for it. Go
nah,
for
bro.
it.
I just waiting and bartending, but like I would just save money and you know what I mean? I don't know. I didn't like go out. I would just I had all my things that I just hang out
And
with
now
the
you
same
have
fucking
film
friend.
school, but film school ran up most of that money then.
So LACC, brother, it's you get the board of governors fee. So I went there. I rented an apartment in East Hollywood, and I'd walk to LACC, and I just started to learn like technical experience. You know what I mean? It's like you know what I mean? Like I felt like I knew. It's crazy though, but you know, but then bro, like multiple times that you'll find out in your life that you're just a punk ass kid.
Yeah, I bet. But yeah, man. So you're in film school. You finished. You get the certificate and everything.
Yeah, I did finish. I finished. I got my director certificate, my producer certificate, my cinematography certificate, and my cinema production certificate. And so as I was in film school, like you know, I'd start writing. Fell in love with screenwriting. Shout out to Michelle Gelman.
You got your certificate. Got out of film school. Producer certificate. Director certificate. You start directing.
So I'm in LACC. I started writing, and I would do like, you know, little theatrical pieces. Like I learned like a little bit about theater directing. I learned a little about directing. And one day, this is the prelude to the other one. I smoked a blunt like outside of like the school perimeter. I came back and I was in editing class. Editing class is like 14 hours. So I smoked a blunt, and this wonderful Russian lady named Olga came up to me and was like, he's like, you smell like marijuana. And I was like, yeah, probably smoke. I was like, because I smoke marijuana. She's like, do you want to come to Marijuana Paradise? And
okay, that took a turn I wasn't expecting.
yeah, bro. So then she showed me the trailer to her project, and it was this people are like jumping off of waterfalls, growing weed. So I'm like, yeah, I want to go to Marijuana Paradise. So I'm hanging out with this Russian lady, and we take a bus up to Redding, California. It's a whole different world when somebody experiences it for the first time. It's magical, man. It's like
I can imagine.
because it's like I was living in LA, bro, and it's sunshine every goddamn day. Everybody's going nuts.
Complete opposite of Jersey, right?
I go up to Marijuana Paradise, and it's a pot farm, and it's like this. It was like a weird like kind of like outlaw lifestyle. It's very strange. There's no running water. Everybody's living off of a generator, and there's no. It's just the woods. You're in the middle.
Are they what's the word? A commune?
No, not at all. No, it's just a family.
Okay.
There's a family and just living in the woods. This is before weed was like legal. So we're there, and like, you know, like it was just strange. It was like a different it was like peering into a different lifestyle. And so afterward, Olga was like, yo, I would like you to try to be like the producer for this documentary that I'm doing. And you know, like I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, you know, good people. And it was actually like, this is before like Murder Mountain. This is like 2016, 17.
Okay.
So I'm there, and this is like I'm like, oh word, bro. Like I was like, we could probably like actually like make this film and like sell it. I was there. We got an agent for the actual like movie, and you know, I was there for the editing process. And what's it called? I at this time I wasn't living in like I'd moved to like back to South LA, and I was living in this like studio apartment. I would go and I hang out with Olga because Olga was like, she was like the only family I really had out there, man. She treated me like a son. We had this really talented kid named Luca, who was directing the film. Very skilled like photographer, very really talented editor. We start working on the movie. Olga's editing like her footage, and it's like the movie is still developing as it is. I'd left my apartment, and then we were gonna go up to Redding, and I was like, I don't know, like it was like my buddy, like he wanted to like be able to invest in the grow, and drew like $1,200, and I was like, let's finish the movie, and like, you know, I want to learn how to grow, and like you know what I mean, it was strange. I wanted to be out of LA for like a while. Completely different lifestyle. Like there's the lifestyle of like moving to city, and there's the lifestyle of moving to a different place, and there's the lifestyle of moving in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So I lived in I was in like this, like, I don't know, I would just help grow. And I would like, you know, I don't know.
How the movie end up at the end?
The movie is a complicated situation. We had a wonderful release of, actually we had like a preview at at a theater. It was cool. And it was the Cascade Theater in Reading. We released it, man. It's wonderful, bro. It was like it was strange because
How'd it feel? Like you got a movie made, bro. I don't have
it's a documentary, but it was like
pound on your,
you know what the
pound
thing
on your
is?
chest a little bit over here.
No, there's a pound on the chest, but it's strange, bro, because every single movie, every project, you learn like a little bit of a lesson.
Oh yeah,
and all of them. What's it called? Like with Marijuana Paradise, like, yeah, we're skipping over story. I don't know if we're going to Joe Rogan or not, but I'm saying,
doing it.
What's it called? So with the movie, it's like, so the movie, like, when this is a documentary, and everybody's mutual objective is that we're going to make the movie, right? My Russian mom has like she has like the ability of a storyteller. Like she's like written books, and she knows how to tell a story. Luca was like an amazing like photographer and editor. Didn't really know how to tell a story. Didn't really speak language that well. Alex was a great producer. Housed everybody, made sure that the shit followed through. Like it's a structural beam. If everybody just like worked together, we would have beaten like Murder Mountain. Like, cause it was like the first like expose of the actual cannabis, like the cannabis community, man, it's a very small community. It's very like, it's so strange. It's beautiful. It's like, cause the thing is, man, everybody on itself, they're all on like a vibe where everybody's waking up at like 6:30 and flipping the greenhouse, man. And it's like, it's a beautiful thing.
Wait up 1 second though. I felt like you were like disappointed in some way by this. Like there was a little bit of a crack in your voice at some point right there when you were describing the release.
No, it's just the team fractured, man.
Yeah.
It was
but the movie came out.
The movie just basically it got shelved because like, yeah, dude, like yeah, bro, like ego is very bad. Like the thing is, bro, like everybody was hyping this. It was just like the team fractured.
Yeah.
The team fractured, and then it just became this whole thing. And it's like, just, I don't even know, man. It's just like, if everybody just like wanted to like make the thing, like, it's like, I'm gonna make my thing, and then I'm gonna make my thing, and then it's like, you know what I mean? And it's like, dude,
and it still hurts you for some reason because you.
No, it's just, dude. It took years. No, it's like, it was like a bunch, and it was like, it was a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and it's like it got laid to waste because like the team just fractured, and it's like, dude, like it's very hard to I don't know, man. It's strange. Like my Russian mom has her cut, and her cut's like just a great cut. It's like this person has their cut, and it's like, but if everybody just made a thing,
it was editing arguments, right?
It wasn't necessarily editing arguments.
You got two different cuts
because the thing is, bro, like, oh, I'm pissed off because I have to work, and it's like, and it's like, dude, just fucking like, let's just make the thing. Let's just make the goddamn thing. Yeah, man, but like, I don't know. So then Marijuana Paradise came. We did Marijuana Paradise, but and that time, man, I did my run of weed, and then what's it called? I did my farm. Like I rented land, and it's weird, bro, because it was something that I had no idea what I was doing. And that's the most freeing thing, bro. You like learn. That's when you really learn, is when you throw somebody into like the ocean. Like, and I
have to swim or drown.
You gotta swim.
That's a bong, right? Hey.
You gotta swim, bro.
You got to.
To bring it back to LACC, there was this one guy named Biggs.
Yeah.
This black dude, lived in South LA for like 40 years, bro. The amount of wisdom this man gave me was nuts. Lemon sharks. I'm gonna leave this for all cameras. Lemon sharks. If they can't sleep or they'll drown, so they have to keep swimming. And it's like, I don't know. what's it called? Like,
You
have to be a lemon shark. You have to be a lemon shark. You have to continue swimming. Everybody really needs to.
Now he's just spraying them out.
No, man. So I rented land, and I was living with my girlfriend, and we had like this like RV, and it was strange, man. It was like, I had like a season of just growing weed, you know.
And you felt like, man, I'm Tommy Chung on this shit right now.
Not Tommy Chung on this shit, bro. It was
but you were definitely happy with life. I'm seeing the expression on your face right
not necessarily. No, bro.
No?
It's the heart. It's like
weed work is like any work, right?
One of the best quotes that I can give you is, it's never a job, it's a lifestyle. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like, this is like the same thing with podcasting or filmmaking or whatever. It has to be like your identity.
Yeah.
It's strange, man. It's like the lifestyle out there. It's weird. It's there's a quiet that you don't experience here. The process of growing weed, it's a daily care. These first of all, these are your children. And you have to regard them as your children. And the energy you give is the energy you receive in all things. The energy that you give is the energy that you receive. If you're going and you're watering these plants every goddamn day, and you are constantly watering the plant, it's the water. The plant is gonna fucking yield 10 pounds, bro. You know what I mean? If you do 5, you know what I mean? Like, it's the energy you give to anything is the energy that you will receive back. It's like
Beatles.
It's Mario Tennis, baby. Actually, not Mario Tennis. That's a bad analogy.
Yeah, what the hell?
No, but it's like, it's like just playing. It's like,
I get what you're saying now.
With anything, bro.
Receiving and yeah. I get it. Okay, so you're doing the weed farming now. This is life now. This is life, bro. I am in an RV. I am like, I'm what was it, Elijah Wood? Elijah Wood. Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Piece together how you get back to Jersey though, because I'm trying to get to the idea. What's the bridge here?
This is 3 years before New Jersey.
I'm following the timeline. I know you said 2016 now, but I'm thinking of like, why give all that up and come back here? Because from what I'm hearing now,
my grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was strange, bro.
Yeah.
I was growing weed, and it was peaceful. I did my harvest. The thing is, bro, like when you go through this entire process, it was a struggle, man. It was like, you know what I mean? Like, you would buy like in the woods, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no cell phone, there's nothing, bro. You have to like rely on your own instincts, and you have to rely on your own like intuition to be able to see it through. You know what I mean? That stakes are so high.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
the whole prop
so
or whatever it's called, right? And this feels like, just going by the expressions of your body language and your face, this seems like one of the happiest moments of your life doing this, though. The way you like
freedom will always give you, not necessarily happiness. Freedom does give you happiness.
Absolutely. I could be poor. If I'm free and poor, I'm gonna be happy. But if I'm rich and enslaved, then, enslaved to the money or whatever, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
or pretty pissed off. Yeah.
It's not like everything has its ups and downs, man. It's like, obviously, like, you miss your family, bro. Like, my grandfather died while I was in the woods, bro. I'd like, you kind of suffer. You like learn. It's like the emotional experiences you have, man, kind of serve as like a callus. You start to understand more, and you can be more empathetic, and you can like, I mean, like, I understood the backwoodsman.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot of people who can understand the backwoodsman. You guys, you know nothing of paving a road.
No idea.
Yeah, no, you know nothing of paving a road, bro. You know nothing of like the entire place is getting raided. You know what I mean? Where your entire 6 months, your entire savings is put into something.
And this is still illegal too at the time.
Yeah, not necessarily illegal. It's like it's weird, man. The entire economy of Reading is kind of fucking supported and fucking humble, bro. What do you think they don't know? There's a fucking $1 million. There's people are selling houses in the middle of the woods for $1 million. You don't think they know?
Yeah.
There's fucking there's a sale on fucking on on fucking turkey bags in fucking October. You know what I mean? There's like, suddenly there's a sale on 50-gallon fucking bins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they know they fucking need it, bro. It's like an unspoken hush, but you know, it's gonna go back into the community.
Yeah.
It's that's the entire fucking economy of that place. There's legal cannabis, bro, but like black market cannabis is just always gonna exist. You can't you can't not. It's like it's but then again, like it's like how do you stop somebody from selling tomatoes? You know what I mean? Like it's like it's serious, bro. It's just fucking it's like it's just a fruit. At the end of the day, man, it goes through the same life cycle as any fruit, as anything. It's strange, man, because my last name I bear my grandfather's last name. And it's I don't know. It's strange, man. It makes you a stronger person. It's not a stronger, like there's like a little bit of, you have a little bit of guilt with it. You have like a little bit of like, but it's like, you know, I had a family there, man, bro. You have to provide for your fucking family and shit. Robin's calling.
I see. He's going through it right now. That's my friend. I love her, but we're on a mission right now. Let's go. We're going to end here, but on part 2, we're going to start off with the murder mystery, and then we're going to go back to Jersey after that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's end here, man. You definitely are dreaming.
Okay. Right.
No, but don't put it away. Guys, this is the end of part 1. This has been awesome. Yo, thanks for coming, bro. This has been, like I said, I learned more about you tonight than I've known every time I cross paths with you at Prototype.
All right, bro.
And this was awesome.
All right, word.
You know, I will tell you this, bro. You were the most interesting person I've ever spoken to on a podcast.
Thank you.
Because you're vulnerable about everything.
I don't fucking care. Nah, man. It's fucking what
it's like whatever, man. I don't know. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. And we'll be back with part 2 of this. And you do it on the mic now. You swear to God, we're coming back with part 2.
I swear to God.
There you go. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
All right, guys.
And we're out.